A new Helluva Boss episode is right around the corner. While the last season was pretty flawed, I'm surprisingly optimistic about the next one, so let's dive into how Season 3 could not only take the show back to its former heights, but actually improve beyond that. The most common complaint that gets levied against the second season is how it changed Helluva from a fun dark comedy to a romantic drama that edges on being a soap opera at times, coupled with the show becoming heavily serialized. This change split Helluva's fanbase into two groups that want the show to be fundamentally different things. Interestingly enough though, Season 2 didn't change this at all. The genre switched at the midpoint of Season 1. An IMP hit job was the center of attention in just 3 Season 1 episodes, the last being the 4th. Every other episode had a shared or even sole focus on characters' feelings. The latter half of the first season proves that Helluva's story revolving around characters' mental state isn't a deal breaker for most people, including for most who claim that it's one for them. New episodes don't need a different approach, just better execution. How will they achieve this? Well, if they want to keep revolving around emotional moments, stop undercutting them. Helluva Boss has the awful habit of interrupting its emotional high points with jokes so sudden they can be counted as jump scares. We keep having gut-wrenching moments, like Stolas sacrificing his life for Blitz, or revealing how Moxie's mother was murdered by his own father. Only to switch to lol, Blitz hurt his wrist punching a sturdy door. Or we just revealed the story of Moxie's dead mom and showed him being physically abused by his father, but now there are sex toys everywhere. And then we are meant to go back to feeling sad the following second. These jokes not only don't land, they actively ruin the serious moments whole storylines are written around. It's like a doctor telling you you have cancer and then he puts on clown makeup. I really freaking hope Season 3 treats its serious moments seriously. We shouldn't lighten the mood if it's meant to be dark. And it's not only how scenes are written, it's how we get to them as well. Before I get to that though, we are extremely close to 500 subscribers, which I'd like to celebrate with a little Q&A. If you have a question you want me to answer, like, subscribe, and leave it down in the comments. The longer the show goes on, the less it seems they feel the need to earn what they want to happen. The most egregious example for this is Striker's plans, turning from working as a farmhand for Millie's parents, as this gives him access to an elevated location from where he can assassinate Stolas from afar, as his target is able to petrify others simply by looking at them, to kinda just running at him. And unlike the first one, this plan actually works. Even Mastermind, Season 2's most important and worst episode, yes, I heavily prefer Happy Campers, sorta happened out of nowhere. This season just didn't build towards it. The big trial, Stolas losing his status, power and family, the entire IMP crew almost getting assassinated, was barely set up in prior episodes. We knew Andy and Stella wanted to dethrone Stolas. Yeah, that's it. Mastermind fundamentally changed Helluva Boss, yet it didn't feel meaningful as we weren't dreading or looking forward to any of it. It was just something that happened. Something impactful that happened, but just something that happened nonetheless. If we had seen Andrew Alphys learn about Stolas lending Blitz the Grimoire earlier than Mastermind's intro, if we had seen him planning something big behind the scenes, we would have been on edge, we would have been curious. The trial would have felt deserved, while causing Andrew Alphys to come across as the devious, scheming, cracker-craving critter he's meant to be. Ozzy's Season 1's de facto finale had a similar problem, focusing solely on Blitz and Stolas' wannabe relationship. Yet a lot of people were shocked to find out that the two of them had any genuine feelings for each other, as we hadn't seen any real indication of this prior to Ozzy's itself. From smaller moments to what episodes focus on, all the way to overarching storylines, Helluva Boss would greatly benefit from putting more care into setting up what's happening. instead of rushing through it. Part of why it currently has a hard time doing so is how bloated it is. Let's take a look at the villains as an example. If we purely count the recurring ones, we have a total of 5 groups, which appear an average of less than 3 times. This not only means that they all end up feeling pretty shallow, as we simply don't have enough time to explore all of their personalities. This also diminishes how threatening they are. Who do you think is helluva's most dangerous antagonist? You are wrong, it's dorks, but they don't feel like it anymore. Think back to when you first watched Truth Seekers. Remember the ending? When the agents revealed that they can now prove that demon kind exists, that they could reveal it to the whole world, how that actually felt like a big deal before we all forgot about it? Until they actually built upon this in Full Moon, 2.5 years and a season worth of episodes later. Yeah, while watching Full Moon, my reaction to this revelation wasn't, "Oh my god, it's finally happening." It was more along the lines of, "Neat. I forgot that was a thing, but kinda cool, I guess." Hype doesn't carry on forever. Fear does even less. If villains don't have enough screen time, we will stop being afraid of them, which is made much worse by physical consequences being close to non-existent. I'm really grateful Mastermind actually changed the status quo for once. A villain succeeded and changed something, but let's face it, this is the one exception, not a rule. Stryker breaking Millie's arm, fully healed in the next episode. The dog agent getting her neck snapped, fully healed a few seconds later. Stryker almost killing Stolas, who has to get rushed to the hospital, fully healed the next episode he's in. Helluva's villains aren't scary, as there rarely are any lasting consequences, and so many of them existing means they don't get the screen time they desperately need. But Season 3 could fix that. Season 3 could fix all of this with one simple action. Kill Stryker. Give us a reason to be afraid when we see the imps fight. Prove to us that they are in actual danger. It's not like fans have enjoyed Stryker's few last appearances, but he's still the villain a large part of the audience has the biggest emotional connection to. He outlived his usefulness as a character, but not as a corpse. And speaking of things I want to see killed off, Stolas. Stolas used to be my favorite character, and even though I couldn't give less of a damn about shipping culture, I used to love Stolas as well. But the way it got handled led to me, while still really enjoying the moments they have on screen, feeling very uncomfortable whenever I think about the relationship. This is gonna get very serious for a second, so if you'd rather skip to the next point, here's the timestamp. During the first episode, while Blitz was actively getting shot at, Stolas used this opportunity to strike the quote-unquote deal that Blitz would from now on only get access to the Grimoire, which Blitz, his friends and daughter, all of whom are part of Hell's lower societal classes, will lie on for a living if the two of them have sex on a regular basis. Which, yeah, the show continuously going, oh, both Stolas and Blitz mistreated each other, while only really focusing on what Blitz did wrong, even though Stolas is kind of a waste. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of ruined their relationship for me. And treating it this way for such a long time means that I think it's straight up too late to salvage this. The deal took place in the very first episode, even if Stolas directly apologized in the next one. This would be 2 seasons later. And even though Stolas definitely wins the who's the worst part of Stolas competition, Blitz has started to become increasingly disliked for his own reasons. Let's take a quick look at 2 of them. If you want to hear the rest, a video about it is linked at the end. It's obvious that helluva has gotten progressively more serious, which leads to us taking characters' actions more seriously. Small problem though, the entire premise of the show is IMP being assassins who kill innocent people. Not a great situation to be in, but this has turned from problematic to catastrophic, as both the last episode and the show directly after that focused on humanizing IMP's targets. So now we end up with a serious show about assassins killing innocent people who we are meant to feel bad for. But is that even a fair description by now? Partially, Yes, and that's honestly quite baffling. Yet, for the most part, helluva Boss doesn't seem to be interested in human targets anymore. The entire second season only had 2 of them, and as they didn't even carry out the hit in Sinsmith, the only real one left is this one guy in Unhappy Campers who not a single person watching this video even knows the name of. And you know what? I get that. Not the name, also the name party's called Jimmy by the way, but helluva Boss has outgrown the human world. Let's be honest, what sounds more interesting to you? IMP going after another human with the design and powers of a human, or them fighting sick demons with cool powers? Let's not suppress the edgy 14-year-old inside of us. We want to see awesome demons getting smashed against each other like action figures. While it's already confirmed that there'll be at least one scene of 2 demons smashing each other, Season 3 will be uncensored by the way, and I can't wait to figure out what an imp penis looks like. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the recent content has turned humans into pretty awful and boring targets. Ghost Evers, on the other hand, had an amazing and interesting fight scene. The one in Sinsmith felt a bit too Marvel IMO, but I really enjoyed it. And it's not only better targets as well as powers, the settings can be a lot more interesting too. After 2 seasons and 6 shorts, we haven't even seen all of Hell's wings. Season 3 could change all of this quite easily. Turn IMP into assassins who target other demons. And what's a better point in time for doing this than shortly after Mastermind, in which they almost got executed for killing humans in the first place? I think that whole trial was a freaking mess. And you've just reached the perfect point in time to like and subscribe. Leave a question for the Q&A, and if you want a more thorough analysis of why fans are turning on Blitz, click the video on screen.